All right, we're doing a second autism test for no reason, really. But I saw that there was another autism test that some people were using. These are online internet tests. Duh. Obviously, it's not like an actual diagnosis. I thought that that was implied before. Some people were trying to make sure that I knew that. And yes, I understand. All right, the autism spectrum test. The autism spectrum encompasses a range of neurodevelopmental conditions, all pointing to the presence of disorders such as classic autism, Asperger's syndrome, or Rett syndrome. What about Link? There is considerable variation in the type and severity of symptoms. This test combines the insights of several prior efforts to research the autism spectrum to bring you a single composite test measuring autism spectrum occurrences across 10 different domains. Where do you fall in
$1.00 a bitter shark told me that autism is when you can't stop putting your dick in a toaster. Is that why Daddy Derek's is always not working?
Where do you fall on the autism spectrum? For each of the following questions, indicate your level of agreement below. I have certain routines. Whoa! Too big! What the? I have certain routines or habits that I must follow. Yes. Very agree. People have told me that I can be obsessed about my interests. Oh, duh. It is hard for me to sit still without... I'm literally fidgeting right now. As a child, I would often repeat words or phrases that... Yeah, my leg was... I was doing the stanky leg, and I was doing this with my finger. As a child, I would often repeat words or phrases that were said to me. Yes. I actually remember a lot of movie quotes that I would repeat. I would imitate Chris Tucker from Rush Hour. When I was little, I'd be like, damn! Because I thought it was very funny. I would say, oh, hell no! What year did that movie come out? I almost always carry some special object in my purse or wallet that provides me with a sense of security, comfort, or control. I mean, I do have a horse keychain for no reason that only takes up space. It's like a... Yeah. Yeah, I do. I have trouble understanding what people mean when they say they feel happy for someone else. I don't have any trouble understanding that. Others have told me that I have problems managing my anger. Not really. No. 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 I'm pretty fucking good at managing my anger. I get it out artistically. I express it through the media that I create, which I feel is a very good way of managing my anger. Although sometimes previously I used to... no, that was more depression. I was about to say previously I used to like be kind of like self-harmful, but that was less anger and more just sadness. New social situations make me anxious. Yeah. I find it difficult to make decisions or act without guidance from others. No fucking way. I am independent horse, okay? I usually feel unhappy more days than not. Can I leave it on the center? I don't really feel like that anymore. But I used to. Like a year ago, you know? Okay, I'm leaving it on the center. I am rarely worried about anything. That's not true. I talk to my friends at a party the same way I would talk to my coworkers. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I've never like hid myself or anything, even like at work, you know? Even when I worked at like fucking 20 other customer service jobs I had. Others say that I speak too loudly or softly. Yes, 100%. I am often beset by feelings of sadness. I mean, yeah. Not as much as I used to be. I have never been good at sports. I mean, no. I'd really just, well, kind of. I was good at basketball because I was really tall. But
$1.00. Oh shit. I'm sorry. Sorry for what? Our daddy taught us not to be ashamed of our dicks, especially since they're such good size and all. Yeah, I see that your daddy gave you good advice. It gets bigger when I pull on it.
MMM. Yeah. I was only incidentally good at a couple sports, and the rest I kind of just. I'm not like. At this point, I'm like just broken because my wrist issues and my knee. But I mean, like, I don't know. I used to be. I was very uninterested in sports, and it made me bad at sports. That's what I would go with. I rarely experience happiness or joy. Not anymore. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with present day. Being away from home for extended periods of time frightens me. No. No, no, no. Well, I mean, it kind of used to, because I would be like, yeah, but what is home? Am I away from home when I'm visiting my boyfriend in Atlanta, or is that home? You know? Home is where the heart is. Now, am I away from home now, even though this is my legal residency that I am at right now? I'm answering down the middle on this one. I have no idea. I'm almost always in the same neutral or flat mood. No. Maybe, kind of. I'm glad there's a middle, because I'm just, like, not sure on some of these. No. Expressions like raining cats and dogs and feeling like $1 million are confusing to me. I'm not confused, no. But if you gave examples of other expressions where I'd be like, why is it worded that way? Then sure, but yeah. Others have told me that I have repetitive bodily movements. I mean, yeah. People have told me that I make repetitive, strange noises and or repeat certain words out of 100%. Get me out of here. I dislike talking to people I don't know. Kinda. But yeah, I do kind of dislike whatever. I generally avoid eye contact with others. I mean, I try not to, but I was literally avoiding eye contact with someone earlier today, and I felt bad about it. I am very sensitive to noise, yep. I accumulate lots of facts on subjects and topics that interest me, yep. I would put this even higher. I prefer to do things on my own rather than with others. I mean, yeah-ish. Others have told me that I speak like a robot. Yeah. I feel irritated and or angry when I have to navigate uncertain situations. Yeah. Yeah. At parties or other social gatherings, I will usually stand in corners or close to a wall. No? I enjoy parties. I'm going to put that in the middle. It really depends. People sometimes tell me that I'm being rude in conversations, even though I think I am being polite. Yes. When I get angry, I calm down faster than most people. No. When I'm really angry, I don't know if anybody's even seen me angry. I cannot stand certain sounds, such as those made by vacuum cleaners, drums, or busy traffic. There are certain sounds that I'm like actually fucking triggered by. But I'm not gonna say what, actually, in case someone will use it against me. It is stressful for me to have to retain eye contact with others. To have to retain eye contact, yeah. I get temper tantrums where others cannot reach me. I mean, let's say sure. I think I'll be a little honest and self-deprecating about that one, but it depends on how you define temper tantrums, really. It depends on how you define that. Sometimes I get like fucking pouty and just like miserable. but I think I'm self-aware about it enough. And I don't like take it out on others, you know, to the extent that like not putting an effort into being cheery is not taking it out on someone. You know? There's like a few days ago where like there's been several points where I've just been like, yeah, I'm kind of in a bad mood, sorry, you know, like nothing I can do about it, you know. I'm not going to take it out on like a customer service worker or anything. Just sometimes people can tell when I'm upset. Yeah. When I see a balloon, I worry that it might pop. No. That's funny though. As a child, I put most of the pressure on the front of my feet when walking. What? I don't know. I have a tendency to yell at people when I feel frustrated or stressed. No, actually. No, I don't think I do. In the context of like creating art, like I don't think it's asking about me in Twitch chat. I think that's a unique situation. You know? Maybe I can put it in the middle. I think Twitch chat where I'm not actually talking to like a person face to face and there is an expectation of like being an angry character anyway, and the people that watch the channel the most like know that I'm like, you know, that I can yell. I don't think that it's talking about that, but I will leave it in the middle just to be fair. Yeah, when I'm playing a fucking Souls game, like you're supposed to get angry then. When I'm having a conversation with someone, I prefer to look at the wall, at their shoes, or somewhere other than into their eyes. It really depends. It depends on the person, depends on my mood that day, honestly. I have been described as having an unusual posture. I don't know, actually. Sometimes I'm self-conscious about my own posture if I see it like in a video or something. I think probably not is what I'm going to lean on. I hate the sound of fireworks, fire alarms, and or thunder. Who doesn't hate the sound of a fucking fire alarm? I get obsessed with strings of numbers such as dates or license plates. Yeah, sometimes. I have a tendency to hit or destroy things when I'm... No, I don't. Well, sometimes I hit myself. I am... If I get like really like I never get to this situation. This happens like maybe once a year, by the way. This happens like once a year. And usually if it gets to that point, it's like something just so frustrating and upsetting to me, and I've had like a couple drinks or something. And it happens so infrequently, but sometimes I'll hit my face. So when I'm angry or stressed, it's like I feel like most of the time when I'm angry or stressed, I don't do that. But it's like I have technically, I guess I have a tendency to hit. But like, I don't know if I would. It happens so infrequently though that like, I don't know. A tendency? It's like technically I do. If we're gonna get technical, I do have a tendency when I'm angry or stressed. But it's like the threshold for being angry or if it said when I am the most angry or stressed, then this would be a really easy one to answer. But it's like there's so many times where I'm angry or stressed that I don't do that I'm gonna leave it in the... Should I? It's like, well, technically I have to say yes. Like if we're gonna read, technically that is true, so I have to say yes. Okay. Even when I'm paying attention in conversations, I do not necessarily look into the eyes of the speaker. Not necessarily, correct. Yeah, if we're going by how it's phrased, then yes. When watching movies, I do not usually look at the eyes of the actor. That's not true. Actually, depends. I like to look at the... Sometimes I like to look at the extras, but I'm also looking at the eyes of the extras if I'm looking at them, so yeah. I do not like going to loud places like malls, markets, and amusement parks. I don't like going to malls because they're crowded. Sometimes also because they're loud. Amusement parks are kind of fine. These first two I really don't like that much. I would prefer not to go to malls or markets, but I like amusement parks. But not because they're loud, necessarily. I'm going to say disagree. I often bump into things or trip over my own feet, yeah. I follow a set schedule closely and tend to avoid unfamiliar things, yes. I often rock myself or fiddle with my hands to feel better. Yeah? I sometimes have compulsive thoughts about being injured or having bad things happen to me in extremely specific ways. Yes. All right. What do we got here? Tics and fidgets, I'm very high. Fixations, yes. My autism spectrum symptoms are high. Okay. So this one I am more autistic on this one than the first one. This is much more autistic. Somebody commented on the last one I got 6 out of 10, which is very funny. Not much depression. Yeah, not anymore. If I answered this like a year or two ago, I'd probably get higher on that, but this is interesting. Okay, this is really interesting. Depression. People with autism are 4 times more likely to experience depression than those who are neurotypical. One of the strongest predictors of depression is loneliness. Since individuals high in the autism spectrum are more at risk of isolating themselves, they may have more depression triggers. And also, yeah, because they just don't feel like people understand them, you know? That causes loneliness, right? Fixations. Many people with autism spectrum disorders have difficulties in dealing with change. As a consequence, they often have routines that they feel like they need to follow, Adhering to these rituals and routines makes them feel more in control of their environment. They also usually have special interests that they feel they must tend to, which they experience as fundamental to their well-being. Abnormal flat speech. Individuals with autism generally speak differently from most people. They talk in a flat or exaggerated way or speak in clipped bursts. This relates to the general difficulties people with autism spectrum disorders experience in understanding metaphors, social cues, and the subtext of certain words. Noise sensitivity. One common symptom experienced by people with autism spectrum disorders is intense sensitivity to sound. Autism spectrum individuals may be easily overwhelmed by noises as well as other environmental stimuli such as abnormal temperatures or lights. Yeah. Social difficulty. Many individuals on the autism spectrum feel challenged when it comes to making or engaging friends and may be overwhelmed by certain uncertain social situations. This disposition is often related to their difficulties with reading, nonverbal communication, or conversely, to their own adherence to fixed routines or tendency towards flat speech. Anxiety. Individuals with autism often develop irrational fears, phobias. Yeah, me. Social anxiety and separation anxiety. And they may struggle with intense levels of stress due to their sensory sensitivities and or difficulties adapting to changes in their routines. Individuals high in the social anxiety may also develop a fear of negative reactions from their peers. Abnormal posture. Individuals on the autism spectrum often struggle with a reduced perception of their bodily movements. As a result, they may have difficulties with their motor coordination or postural orientation. These tendencies may further exacerbate their social isolation. Poor eye contact. One of the hallmarks of autism is the tendency to avoid eye contact. Individuals on the autism spectrum often find that maintaining eye contact causes them stress due to the overwhelming sensory input they may experience. Many individuals with autism would rather look at something else, such as static objects or another person's shoes. Tics and fidgets. Individuals with autism may experience motoric and somatic tics such as head movements, excessive blinking, or twitching. They may also struggle with vocal tics such as repeating words or phrases. Finally, some find it challenging to keep still, and they constantly feel the urge to fidget. Aggression. Some individuals with autism may be prone to aggression in the form of hitting objects or things, destroying property, and or throwing temper tantrums. This is especially likely to occur for those individuals with autism who cannot speak well, as this is another way of communicating their needs. Okay, so it seemed like it was a lot easier to get the autistic score on this one. It seemed like it was a lot easier to pass with flying colors than the previous test. So I'm curious what other people got, and especially people who are actually diagnosed with autism, because on the last test, I heard that people who are actually diagnosed autism didn't pass the other test. So it seemed like it was weirdly difficult to get the autism diagnosis from the previous test even for people that are actually autistic. So, okay, interesting. There's another autism test. That was cool. That was fun. We can do more tests like this in the future. More quizzes and stuff. Remember that like memory pattern Simon Says thing that I fucking killed? And if I got one more, I would have like beaten the whole thing. Remember that shit? Yeah, I schooled that shit. That's my autism at work. My undiagnosed autism that everybody else who is autistic says I have, but I can't actually say I have, because it's not officially diagnosed. So, do I really want to pay? I feel like as soon as I pay money to ask a professional if I'm autistic, I'm therefore autistic. I feel like as soon as I do that, it's like set in stone. So do I even want to do that? You know? I feel like, I don't know. I at the very least have some autistic traits. I at the very least put fear into Alfonso Cuarón's heart. I am at the very least very scary to Alfonso Cuarón.
Hey guys, it's March of 2023, so let's list off my $5 patrons for this month. Dawn, Easy Game 69, Sam McKenney, Nico Fuentes, Joel999, Speak of the Joker, Sammy Newton. Orange Juice Slurper has divorced Rock and is now married to Shotaro Kaneda from groundbreaking 1988 animated film Akira. D. Black Mama 1993, Yup, Caden Mack, Charisma, The Super One Player, Zachary Kane, Gillyflower, Mandelbro, Wales, Bo the Doggo, Purple Fire, Gabriel Herrera, Hoofy Doe, and Lemonade Warrior is participating in the hit game Among Us and is considered the encroacher. Stay safe out there.